So here are the topics that we're going to cover in this tutorial. As I already said in last tutorial that we will look in detail on HR, center tag, font tag, button tag that's created in HTML but designed in CSS, address tag, and a style tag which helps us include the style inside the HTML file. So let's get started. So here I'm on my desktop. This is the folder that we have been working for last 4 tutorials. So I'm just going to open this in my bracket text editor. So the first tag we are working on is the horizontal line, HR. So here you can see that I had added last time. So I'm just going to remove it all completely. And we will do this together. So I'm going to write HR. And let's take a look again. So I'm going to open this file in Explorer. Now we can open it in a browser. And here you see a thin line right above the marquee that we created last time. So let's increase its size. So the line becomes thicker. So I'm going to add here size, and let's give it a high number, so let's say 10. I will save it and let's see how it looks. So I'm going to refresh it and you can see it's very thick. Now you see the empty area inside. We don't want an empty area, so let's fill it. So I'm going to write here no shade. I will save it, and now the empty area should be filled as soon as I refresh. There you go. So we have this default color of the line. Let's say we didn't want it all the way from the beginning to the end of the line. So we are going to make it only 50%. So we will write, we can write in the beginning, width, let's say 50%. I will save it, and now the line should become only half of the browser. There you go. Let's say we want to change the color of this line. So we would write here color. Now we can choose the color, so I can choose from here, from the color picker. Maybe we want a nice dark green. So it will give us the hexadecimal code of this color. So I'm gonna save it and let's see again. And here our line becomes nice, thick and green colored. So this is all about horizontal, but the recommendation, I will personally recommend you to use CSS because it will give you a lot more option to have a fine control over your line. So let's take a look now on our next tag. Our next tag is center, so let's take a look. So I will take a look on these two headlines, which is headline size H3 and H4. Let's see how they're positioned in our website right now. So if we scroll down, you will see here H2 and H3, they are in the left. But I want it to be appearing in the center. So I'm going to cover these both tag inside center tag. Center. I'm gonna delete from here because I want to close it after the H4. Now I will save it. Now both of these headlines would appear right in the center here as soon as I refresh. So even if I shrink my browser, you say they remain in the center. That means they are always gonna be in the center area. So you can use this tag to put text, heading, or picture in the center. But if you want to do the same thing on all the pages of your website, then it's better to use CSS, so you don't have to write the code for every single page. In case in future you want to change any style, then you will have to do it in every single page. So this is the center tag. If you need to use for 1 or 2 places, it's okay. If it's more than 1 or 2, please use the CSS. Then comes the font tag. So let's say I want to change the font of only this paragraph and not the one above and not the one below. So I will put here font, then you write face equal to times New Roman. Then I'm gonna close this tag right here, and then I'm gonna do the closing tag of font space in the end of my paragraph. I will save it with Ctrl S, and let's take a look what happens to this paragraph as soon as I refresh only this paragraph. So as soon as I refresh, there you go. The only changes happen is to this paragraph and not the one above and not the one below. So let's see what else can we do with this tag. So let's say we want to change the size of this font. So I would write in the first one, right after the name of the font, I would write size, let's say 4. Let's see what happens. So save it and refresh. So you can see the size became equal to the other. Now if I had reduced or increased the size, let's say I would do size 1. Save, refresh, and here it became small, which is actually the quarter of its original size, and the 4 was the 100%. So if I put 4, refresh, it becomes the same size. If I wanted them to be larger, then I will just need to add a larger number. So save, refresh, and there you go. So this is how we can change the name of the font and the size, and we can also change the color. It's pretty big, so I'm gonna reduce it back to 4. And let's see, we want to put color, so we would do color, and maybe we want to give it a nice red color, or maybe let's say purple. And if you will save it, then whole paragraph will change to this nice purple color. There you go. So this is what you can do with the font tag, but if you want to do anything extra, I would say use the CSS and follow my next series of CSS, and we will learn about how we use CSS with HTML, and we will be actually creating a whole website using HTML CSS together. So this is about the font tag, and let's see what is the next tag. So the next tag is button tag. Let's say I want to create a button right below this. So I would write here button, and I'm going to write here click me. I will save it, and we're gonna go on the page, scroll up because the button should appear right below this part. There you go. So you can click it. Nothing happens because we haven't given it any functionality, but you can see you can click and it does the nice animation of getting clicked and leaving the click. So if you wanted to stylize, we would do this in CSS, so which we will take a look in the later tutorials. Now comes the address, the next tag. So let's see. Maybe we want to put address right before the footer tag, so I'm going to put it here. Address. We will say apartment 12 Worli, Mumbai, India. Let's save it and see what happens. So we will refresh it. We will go all the way down. And here you see it is coming nice and italic. That shows that it's an address. You could have also used the italic, but we have used the address tag. So as we saw in our browser that the address came up in one straight line, but maybe we wanted our address to show just the way we have written here in our tag. So all we need to do is to put here break a line. So we write break. There you go. Now it's not in a straight line, but they are the way we wrote in text editor. And now we will see the style tag. So the style tag is used inside the head tag where we have written our title for the browser. We linked our CSS files. So I'm going to, for now, I'm just going to delete this CSS file link, save it, and I'm going to go inside the CSS file, and I'm also going to delete the code that I had written previously, save it. Let's take a look how our website looks without the colors. Now you see the heading is not red anymore, and you can see there's again gap that we had reduced in CSS code. So let's take a look how we do it in HTML with the style tag. So I'll go back inside index, and I'm going to create here this style tag. Now whatever we will write inside this will be applied as a style. So let's say to remove first of all the gap beside, let's say this my website name, there's a gap in the side which is a default padding or margin of the browser. So let's remove this first. So I would write HTML, comma, body, and then you write curly brackets, and then you write padding 0, margin 0. Save this file, and the style should take place as soon as we refresh. There you go. Now we will put these both headings in red color again. So we're gonna hit enter, and we write h1 curly bracket and then write color red. Save it and refresh, and there you go. It looks exactly the same as with the CSS file. The only thing is that there were very few things in this style sheet that we did. That's why we could use the style inside HTML. But if you have a website if you want your website to look really nice and elegant and with a lot of functionality, then all of this will be done in a style.css file. Let's take a look what we will learn in next tutorial. In the next tutorial we will learn how to make HTML form. And you must have seen on websites login form, inquiry form, sign-up forms. So we will see how to make those forms with HTML. So stay tuned and see you next tutorial. Bye.